Hi guys, welcome back to Cooking with the Frisbees. Guess what? It's time to put some of our seedlings in the ground. So today, it's actually,
fall planting day.
Fall planting. So today, it's actually rather nice outside. I think they said it was 68.
Yeah, 68 degrees, overcast. Let me see, I'll zoom up. Overcast, windy. Perfect day for doing garden stuff. It sure is a heck of a lot better than that freaking 95-degree crap.
Woo, for sure. So we are going to take these cattle panels out, but what we're planting in this bed is going to be the broccoli and the cauliflower that we started. This bed is going to get beets, carrots, and our Brussels sprouts that we started. So that's it for today. And then we have more going in these beds over here. I've got peas going in one. I've got, spinach, lettuce, and kale going in another. And then the last one is the bok choy. So we have that coming, but today, this is what we got.
You've already amended the soil, right?
Yes, so these, I pulled up the previous plants, I've amended the soil, I've turned the soil, I'm gonna just flatten it out. This one looks like it needs a little bit more compost. I'm gonna grab some of that and then get to planting.
All right, guys. And I'm gonna have to put down some irrigation, which, show them that hose. I've already done that. I mean, it's already set.
No, it's ready. So I took the old irrigation lines that you see, the old black ones that were seepers, and we put down this new, which is actual holes every 12 inches. It allows for much better concentration to the soil. So we're gonna keep using these. We have more to lay down, but for the most part, we're gonna stick with these. It just wasn't getting enough water, especially how hot this summer was.
I just think those hoses, they were great for when we first started, but with all the heat, and I think they just crack and they just start to disintegrate, and
it wasn't pushing the water through.
Right.
Like it just started, like it would go out like the connection and then not get into the bed.
This is polyurethane, so it should stand the test of time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
I really did not like doing it. And then I'll show you guys the rest of the setup on how I actually configured this bad boy. So we're gonna get busy, getting busy. Let's do some planting.
All right, as you can see, we've lost a good amount of soil in this bed, so we're gonna amend it. I have already amended the soil, but I'm gonna add some compost to it, and then I'm gonna turn it, and then Keith is going to put some irrigation in, and then I'm gonna plant my little babies.
Shouldn't take too long, but you can see, guys, if you go back and look at that video when I built this bed, I think it's entitled Another Expansion. What is underneath all this dirt was tree limbs and branches and logs and just stuff like that, and leaves, so, and bark mulch. So it's going to settle over time, and that's just what happens here. So every year when you see us do this, which is, now this is year 2, this is only year 1 with these beds, we always go back and add dirt to our beds because it just loses. So what Beth is putting in there is a mixture of compost and manure.
Yes, it smells amazing.
It does. It smells good. And the only problem that we ever have is that we have to keep our little children, as you see Bella over there sniffing around in the bed, and you see Bentley down here sniffing in the bed. Now, a lot of you guys are probably going to sit there and comment and go, why are you making Beth do the heavy work? Because somebody's got to do the filming.
Okay, well, the one thing I do love about these bags is that they are smaller than our usual bags that we get, so I can actually lift them.
Do you need another bag?
No, I'm going to use these 2 bags. I'm going to go get the pitchfork.
Just rake it out.
And the rake and turn it out, and then, because like I said, I already amended these beds, so they've already been they've got worm castings, they've got blood meal, and they have EB stone fertilizer. So they already have had that. It's been raining a good amount of time, so that's gotten a little deeper. This fresh compost will make a nice top layer, and then once I get these guys planted, I'm going to go ahead and put some hay.
Hey. Oh my God.
I'm going to put some hay over the top of them. So that'll help keep the moisture in, helps keep the sun off of them.
And what's that little tool you got there? That little tool, not that one. The one on your hip there.
Oh, my little garden tool?
Yes.
Yes. So this is a great little tool. I leave the tip on it, but it allows you to choose how deep you want to plant your seedlings.
So it's a hole poker thingy.
Yeah, gives you a nice little hole.
Bella, you're not going to eat those, are you?
Bella, don't even think about it.
You better leave those alone.
You best leave those alone.
You're going to get in trouble. All right, we got to get busy.
Get my pitchfork.
Would you like me to help you with that?
Sure. Let me go get the rake.
All right. They're barking because I'm filming.
Oh, is the camera still on?
I just turned it on.
Guys, stop. Bella, knock it off. Knock it off.
We're not really trying to turn this over too much. I mean, we're not people that don't believe in the no-till thing or anything like that, but I mean, you got to mix this up to a certain degree. And I think that you got to loosen the soil up because our soil tends to get really compacted. And there's roots under here. This tomato plant root?
Yep.
That could stay in there.
But you see how luscious that compost from underneath still is?
Yeah.
There's lots of bugs, and not bad bugs, worms. I did add some worm castings to this. It should help. Look at that. So pretty.
Look at all that dark soil.
I know. I did
have to take this root out of here.
Got it. Well, that's why they say you can leave the roots of your previous bed in there, but it does make it. I can see how they get
in the way.
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more difficult to till. Plenty of people do the no-till, which that's fine, but I think for us in Georgia,
it just gets too compacted.
As compacted as it gets,
yeah,
we definitely need to till. And we're using our beds over and over.
Just trying to get some of that old stuff out of the bottom.
Yeah. And the straw adds a whole nother layer of, there we go. There's another one. We had some good rooted tomatoes for sure.
Yeah, we did.
All right. Yes. Look at how beautiful that is. I know for the average person it's probably not as exciting.
It is.
It's so exciting to me.
Hey, you know what? When you build things by hand and your hand touches it all, it's something to be excited about.
So I noticed something the other day when we were at Stephen Laverne's when we picked up all those peppers. Like, she has the same anxiety that I do. Like, I grew it, somebody has to eat it.
Oh.
Like, to see your food that you grew not eaten
seems wasteful.
Oh my gosh.
From all the effort that goes into it, I can understand that.
It's so...
But that's why we learned how to...
So painful, but at least we can compost. We do pickle. I just learned how to can.
Somebody's screaming in the background.
No idea why.
Hope they're not hurt. All right, is that even enough?
Yeah, babe. More roots. I guess if you have a really huge bed, like Jess and Jeremiah from Roots and Refuge, we follow. They're homesteaders with a very large piece of property. It's not as big a deal.
Yeah. You got to be a little bit more meticulous with smaller beds.
Yeah. Awesome. Right. Okay, while you run the irrigation, I'm going to put some...
Oh, I'm going to need your help.
Oh, you need my help?
Yep.
Okay.
Because it doesn't go down very easy.
Okay.
So if you want to go grab the tube, I'm going to open this up. I think as I do everything, I went way overboard, but you know, you guys are going to learn that about me. It's what I do. I thought one of the things that I struggle with, and I know you can't see me, but one of the things I struggle with is I can't get those pins to go down deep enough when I'm working on them. So I struggle with that. So I went and got these stakes. Look at these stakes. You think these will go down far enough?
Good Lord.
Overkill. So what I need for that particular one, my love. Okay, I just had them in my lovely hand. Here we go.
We got to start it.
Yeah, how even is that? Very even, in your opinion?
Yeah.
That's pretty even. So now, I'm going to do this.
You're not showing any of what you're doing.
I know. So guys, see this? This is the end that goes on here.
Go down one.
And I'm putting it on. Oh!
Oops.
So, hopefully you can see me. So, the tip of this irrigation, I put a WD-40 on it because it's really tough to get these things in here, especially since they're cool. So, all you have to do, I say all you have to do, this is the difficult part. And sometimes I'm prepared to go and get a lighter to warm it up. Because it's going in, but it is a pain. And I know there's not a lighter down here.
Are you sure about that? Not on the bar?
Oh, I think I got that in there far enough. So, you push that in, and then you screw this down on top of it. Can you see me?
A little lower would be great, but yeah.
And you just screw this piece down on top of it. Oops, not that tight, obviously. I went too tight. Got to go back up. Nope, now I got to pull it out. I went too far. See how this screwed down on top of it? So it popped. This stuff is so hard to work with. right, I gotta make a couple of trips into the house because now I have to put that irrigation line down. And I like to do it when I have another hand because it's hard to do. And especially since that pipe has gotten a little cooler because it's only 68 degrees, it makes it a little hard to work with. So Beth is gonna have to help me, but that means I gotta go up in the garage because that's where they deliver the other staples. I'll be back.
Are you ready?
Yep. It's just so hard to deal with. And since it's wet, I'm gonna get wet. Camera's on. So.
All right, what do you need me to do to make your life easier?
You can either have this end or the other end, but it just has to get laid down, and you see what's happening. It's like, put it down. You can attach it to that hose.
I was going to say, first it needs to be attached. Bentley, get out of the shot. Oh my God, children.
Okay, and then those spikes, put them where you can reach them. And you just start spiking down. And then we lay it out the way you want it. But the problem is it twists and it turns. So you just have to keep spiking it as you do it. So now you see why this was kind of a two-person job and why I was getting so frustrated. And that's pulling from the inside out. So you know what? It's just gonna have to be what it's gonna be.
Wait, what we need to make sure of, this is not upside down.
What do you mean?
The holes are up.
It doesn't matter, as long as the water comes out of it.
Okay, we'll go around here. Hey guys.
Hey, leave it alone, okay? Stop.
Yeah, make this turn a little tighter. There we go.
How many runs are you trying to do?
We're gonna do this way, and then back this way.
Around that pole?
Yep, over top. You can, thank you very much.
Okay. See how this starts to twist? So now I have to twist it back the other way, but all this is falling behind me. It is not an easy thing to do. Hey, hold on. Don't force that because it's twisted and it's gonna kink on you and break. See how you just created that kink?
Mm-hmm. There's a kink here too.
Oh God, I hate when I do this. It's such a difficult thing to do.
Yeah, that's gonna keep the water from going through, right?
Yeah, it is. You're gonna have to put a pin right next to it to keep it from happening.
No, this is not working. All of this is not working. We need to cut it the size that it needs to be.
It's a very difficult endeavor. This is the end of it. This is as far as you want.
Yes.
That's all you want.
Yes.
I can use scissors.
Okay.
So a little extra. And of course it wraps itself right back around.
And then let's do whatever we need to do to unpack these kinks. That one I think is just...
I mean, they should soften back up again once it gets hot. So. That's why you gotta, it's so difficult because you gotta go with the roll, so to speak.
See, I don't know if
Honey, it's gonna come through.
You think so?
Yes. You don't, and just widen that circle down there. That's all. And now give it another twist without twisting.
See, it doesn't really be. Okay, so what do we do with this now?
There's another piece I need. Hope is in here. Yes, it should be in here. You take one of these. Okay, so this goes like this. And this comes back like this.
Well, as cool as it might be out here, geez Louise, it's still
I need another spike.
All right, babe.
These spikes work a lot better. I overkilled, but I got to tell you, I'm very happy with it. Give me one more. I'm just going to put one right here.
Cool. Now I can plant.
And that's how you put irrigation down. This thing, I will tell you guys, this nest is really a pain in the butt to deal with.
Come over here. Nobody can see you, I don't think.
I was out there doing it myself, and it got really frustrating. So now the irrigation is down in the bed. It's hooked up to the hoses. It's hot, even though it's cool out here. I think it's just humid.
We got one more bed to do, though.
One more bed of what?
Irrigation.
But you're not doing that bed today.
Not today.
No, I'd rather, as much as it pains me to say it, it's easier to do when it's warmer outside. So we're done with all that stuff. So
okay, so now I can just plant?
Now you can just plant.
Yay!
Irrigation is set on a timer. While you're kind of doing that, I'll film you doing some of that, and I'll show the people the setup.
Sweet. I was going to tell you get the fuck out of the way.
Yo, you get out of the way.
Oh, shit. Hey, babies.
That really wasn't a great place to set that, but okay.
My little babies. Well, you can put it down here.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to move your little. Your beverage isn't what's critical right now. Why is it all dented?
I had to shove it in the hole.
So.
All right, so we're gonna do broccolis and cauliflowers. So these guys were planted when?
Gosh, that was August 1st?
July 30th.
July 30th we did those.
Yes.
So that's getting a jump start on your fall winter garden for
Big
sure.
Time. The broccolis aren't as big as I wish they were, but I'm gonna get them in here. I'm gonna plant them a little close, only because the hope is, like, I have 2 in here, right? I doubt both is gonna take, so each one has 2. So as I go down and I plant them throughout, my hope is that at least one of them takes, and then at least, I'm hoping 6 of them actually come to fruition and grow into adulthood. So that's my hope.
That's what we're hoping for.
Because each of my little broccolis last year only yielded one full head, which I think is normal, so I've heard. They did give me a couple of little like florets outside of that, but what is that? A big piece of bark. But that's pretty much what you get from broccoli, right? You just
you get one good head, maybe a second one, and then you're done.
Big head.
So it's definitely a crop that if you want to eat on it, you have to plant a lot of
succession sow, right? So we hear that a lot with the people that we follow. They succession sow. So they would plant broccolis now and then plant broccolis a little bit later so that they can eat on them all winter. For me, I'll plant these puppies and hope we can get a couple dinners.
And you know, my mom always had a saying, if you want to know what's going on with nature, follow the trees. It always proves right. Our trees are starting to turn. These trees, as you notice in some of the videos, get to be a spectacular yellow orange. That's why I left them here when we cleared this area back here. And they were little itty bitty trees. I'm gonna go ahead and do a whole video that just shows the beginning of Little Acorn Farm, from this being a swamp to what it's become today. And every single thing you see here, every stone, every rock, every piece of wood, stake, was built by Beth and myself. Stairs, so you've seen some of those videos. So anyway, we'll be back. Keep planting. Whew. All right, so I'm glad it's not that hot out. So we talk about irrigation and we talk about all the things that we've done for irrigation down in the garden. So I thought I would just take a minute to show you how I have mine set up and how we get water all the way from the house all the way down to, sorry, make you dizzy, all the way down there. So I'm just going to take you really quickly through. We're not finished, as you heard Beth mention. We've got several more beds that I've got to do. But the setup remains the same, and I think I got it set up good. So let me just show you how that is. So basically, it really is just a series of hoses and timers and connectors. So here's where it all starts. It's underneath by the back of the house. I've got a splitter on here. This is the timer for the irrigation that goes down to all the beds. And this timer is really set. It goes on every day. And this one just opens it all up. Now there's also a manual button on here and two in case I want to go test something out or do something, but I've got it set to come on at, I think it's 5 a.m. And then it stays on for about 3 hours until everything is done. And then this other hose, it just goes over here where sometimes you see us watering stuff like the upper beds. It just goes to that hose. So all this is, you see that hose right there, and I got this at my Costco store. It's I think it's like a 150-foot hose, and it just runs all the way along the back. It pops up right there. You can see it. It runs up top there. Let me come on out here. I'll show you. It goes out the back, across the fence line, and just runs down the fence line. Now you can see we've got some erosion. This is on the project list. This whole thing, I'm just going to get another pallet of stone and take care of that. But this just runs all the way down here. Okay. Once we get down here, I have it set up on another timer. The difference in this timer that I have down here is this timer is all about zones. So you see I've got a splitter there, nothing on that other one. I used to have another hose down here, but we don't need it. And it goes to this timer. And this timer has zones on it. So it has up to 4 zones, and each of them go off at a different amount of time for a different amount of time. And I think starting at 5 a.m. and there's bed 1. And these series of hoses just basically run to the beds. So that hose, that green one, runs all the way back down to those 2 beds. And I believe that is my kind of my zone 4. The other hose, you see one starts right here. This is the herb garden that you guys always see. I have to change this one out. And then I've just got another series of hoses. And these hoses run. I'll come over here and show you. Oop, I just knocked over something. I hope I didn't break that. I didn't. I just knocked over some stone. My fault. So you see this black hose. It's running across the steps. I've got it secured. Once we do this area, this will get cleaned up a lot better. And then this one, this hose, which I think is zone 3, goes under the stairs to this splitter. And these are the ones that I just did, where I just bought some hose and those silver connectors, and I cut the hose that I had just to fit the needs of the bed. So what happened was, before we just had the irrigation connected to this, and there was just water spilling all over the ground and all over the stairs, and that's just wasted water. So you see what I did here is I just made this little 2.5 foot connector that comes over to this bed. I put connectors on the end of here, and then this just feeds this bed. The other one, obviously, did the same thing. And we just did this bed. So this bed is all planted. Now, back here, because we've got 3 beds back here, this one was a little bit more, not difficult, but complicated. So again, you see this hose is running from that main box that is over there, and it's under the gravel. We need to get some more gravel. And that hose simply just runs right here. This is something that I built. Got a couple of connections and faucets, and I built this. On the other side of this, as you can see, let me move around here. I have a 4 connection box, and these shut on and off as I need them to. So if we're not going to be using a bed, I'll shut it off. Like, this is just an extra spigot in case we want to bring a hose down here for something. That one's in the off position. If we were to connect something to it, I would just have to turn it on. So there's not water constantly coming through here right now. It doesn't come on until that main pipe up there under the deck turns on in the morning, and then it stays on and feeds all of these zones as that other box I showed you clicks through zones 1 through 4 through their designated amount of time. And I think it's like set at 40 minutes per is what I do it at. Maybe some are 29 minutes, but adding up all those times, I just set the timer for the main one to go on for that length of time so these things can run its cycle. And then you see I did the same thing. I took hose with connectors, I cut them and spliced them into the irrigation here. This hose had to be a little bit longer, obviously, because it was running to this bed over here. Put a connection on here, tapped into that irrigation system. So it takes a while to get it done, but once it's done, it's done. I'm glad that I went ahead and made the investment. That circular spindle of irrigation that you saw me carrying around and working with Beth, that was about $120, and I think it's 250 feet. It can be hard to work with, so I sit it out in the sun while I'm working with it. Now this one, you can see this bed still has the old irrigation in it. We have not pulled these things yet. We will. Beth decided to let these tomato plants do their thing. But I just simply took that hose connector and put it on here so that it continually gets water. Now, this still feeds a little bit of water too, but as we said, these are starting to really just disintegrate. So they're not doing much, so I threw them over in this bed where we had a couple of pepper plants. Something's eating that one. We got a pepper plant over here. These were extras, you can see. Oh, it's got a little pepper on it. Good for it. And then my rose bush. So I just wanted to take a moment to show you guys how we had this all run, how we had it all set up, and how we get irrigation down here. We don't have a well. We can't dig a well down here on our space. So I have to do what I can do, and that's just a series of hoses, connectors, and things like that. If you got any questions on as to how I did it, it was pretty simple, just time consuming. Just leave an ask down in the comment section, and I'm always pretty good about answering you guys within like 48 hours. So that's the end of what we had to do today. Got some things planted, showed you the irrigation, got some good irrigation down in that bed. No need to worry about it. I'm going inside. So that's what we got going on. And we're done. So I am going to head on up to the house. Beth is up there on the porch already. Beth just said touchdown. The Georgia game is on. I'm missing it. I gotta go. Guys, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button. leave comments. Let us know you like what you're seeing, or if you've got questions. Like I said, I'll come and answer you. But you guys, thanks for subscribing. Thanks for watching. We're still learning. We'll come back and show you as the fall garden starts to take off, as we do some more plantings. But we'll see you next time.